Today we're talking about why I didn't buy the M1 Pro / Max MacBook Pro. Let's go to number one. Let's just kind of talk about my things that I didn't really like about it. And first off, the names are awful. Like, I understand why they did this because M1 Pro and M1 Max, that's more consumer friendly. If they would have done the X and the Z or whatever like they've done with the iPad, it's not really like, it kind of doesn't make any sense. The Pro and the Max name kind of works better, but still at the same time, I'm just not a fan of this name, but that would not stop me from buying it. Like, the name itself, it is quite heavy. I have seen them in person just a little bit at an Apple store, and I picked them up, and man, that's 16-inch. That thing is heavy. Like, it's got like real beef to it.
Where's the beef?
The ports. Let's go ahead and talk about the ports. They have that HDMI port. I don't know. Me personally, I'm like, I think that's a waste. It's also just a HDMI 2.0 port, so it can only do 4K video out. I think they could have done just better with a dongle. I would say most of the people buying it are not gonna use that HDMI port, so it's kind of just a waste. It just doesn't make sense. The notch, when I first saw it, when they were announcing it, I was like, yay, FaceTime on the MacBook Pro, awesome. But it's not there. All that is they put a notch for a 1080p camera, a light, and possibly, I think there's a mic in there. And before you get started in the comments, like, yeah, but it doesn't take up any room, it's in the menu bar, and it's, you know, it's all good. The menu bar is actually taller to accommodate for this. And then it's in that area where you really need as much space as you can get, because, you know, computer screens are wider than taller. Because I actually put my dock on the right side, and a lot of people hit me up for that, but it's because that's the area that you really need more space, and now they're taking more away because they got this dock there, and the menu. I'm like, why Apple? Why would you do this? They don't even implement it right. Because that was my other thing, was like, I was like, okay, so what happens if you have a long menu item or your menu bar items? Like, I have a good amount of menu bar items on my computer, but I use a program called Bartender, which works great. It kind of just shrinks it down all into like a button. I saw from SnazzyQ, if you have way too many items in the menu bar, it just goes underneath the menu bar and then you can't see the info. And it's like, what? And there's actually even more from another guy on Twitter. You can actually set up, if you need to make sure your menu bar has enough items, you can actually set up the app to make sure it opens, and then everything kind of just truncates down. Like, the whole OS truncates down, so it ignores, kind of like if you went full screen, but not. Like, it's ridiculous. It's completely just. And okay, let's get back to it. They don't need a notch. They don't need the notch for this stuff. Like, it's a 1080p camera. They could have done on this one. I'm like, Apple, if anything, on this one you could have done the pinhole. Like, give us that, you know? And then with that, you don't need to make it bigger. You don't need to do all this other stuff. Microphone, another little hole. The light, just ignore it maybe. I don't know. Number two is the price. Like, it's honestly, I wouldn't say it's overpriced. I mean, it's Apple, so there's the Apple tax. It's priced more than what any other company would probably charge you for it. At the same time, now it's all Apple, so it's harder to kind of compete with everything. I would say with the Mac Mini, because when they released the Mac Mini, the M1, the price went down. So I was kind of hoping to continue seeing that, but instead, I feel like these are about priced what the Pros would really be anyway. It seems to still be in that $2,000, $2,500, and then up and up and up. I have the M1 MacBook Pro. I love it. Like, it is amazing, and I know for a fact that I would love this computer minus the notch. The performance of it would be absolutely amazing. At the same time, I'm like, that's a lot of money, and I just bought the watch, I just bought the phone, and honestly, I just can't afford it right now. And, you know, I had some people saying, well, you could buy it and just do a review and return it, right? Problem is I'd probably fall in love with that performance. Then I would just start obsessing over it, because that's just my style. Like, if I want something really bad, I'll just continually obsess over it until I figure out a way to justify it. I mean, that's what this channel is all about. Let's be honest. Like, a lot of what this channel is about, is that I love talking about Apple stuff, but this just gives me even more reasons to buy Apple stuff. I'm like, my whole job is surrounded around this too. I am an iOS app developer, which allows me to justify the watch and the phone every year. And now I created this YouTube account to try to justify everything else that Apple makes. That's just me. That's just me. So yeah, I know I'm crazy. I love Apple, and that's just how I am. Well, let's continue on. Like, this price is just too much. I can't afford it at this time, and I'm not about to recommend or personally go into debt over a laptop. Like, I already have one that works well enough. It works really well. It does everything I need. Yes, I get memory warnings, which drive me completely insane, but at the same time, it works well enough and gets me through the day. So I'm not in the mode, because if I was to get one, I wouldn't be able to get that 2000 or that 2500. Mine, the one that I would spec out, would probably be in like the closer to the $4,000, $4,500 range, because if I was going to buy a laptop again, I'd want one that would last me like multiple years, because usually that's how I do with laptops. I buy one and I keep it for like 3-4 years. And that's what I recommend from everybody else. If you're going to buy a laptop, buy one that's going to last you a while. That way you don't have to go buy another one in, you know, a year or two. And reason number 3 is that I'm kind of more in a desktop lifestyle right now, and I don't really need a laptop like I used to. So right now my laptop is just mounted onto the side of my desk, and it stays there most of the week. I take it off just a couple times. Most of the things that I do when I'm out and about, I could actually just do on an iPad. They do actually have a Mac Mini in their lineup that's still Intel that should be replaced by this, hopefully M1 Pro at least. That's the device I'm kind of leaning more towards, so I'm kind of just holding off until that happens and I can sell my laptop and pay the difference. I just gotta wait until that actually happens. Also, the iMac, that rumor is still out there. Some kind of like bigger than 27-inch iMac will be coming, hopefully without a notch, but we'll have to wait and see where that is. But yeah, so that's it right now. I'm kind of just waiting to see what happens next, and that's when I'll actually jump in to this M1 Pro / Max lifestyle. Oh, Apple. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. If you are not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button, because I have a lot more content coming, and I will see you all in the next one. I love you. God bless.